It's absolutely 100% activity. Getting on the phone, making mistakes, cleaning up the mess later. Without activity, there's no chance of making any money in this business.
So you don't have your agents go through all the product guides and brochures and learn everything and what every rider does and
Absolutely not. No, that's a sure way of them.
failure. That's a sure way of walking yourself right out of this business. Not even out the
Absolutely.
back door, it's the front door. That'll
Absolutely.
be your first month in.
Yep. I've
So
had plenty of agents say, "Oh, I want to look into debt-free life," and then I never hear back from them after.
then you
Let's get lit with Mason VanMeter. Subscribe now.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a legendary guest here, Mr. Frank Capistrano. How the hell are you doing, man?
It's a beautiful day. I'm just happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
No, thank you, man. The honor is mine. What is that jacket you're wearing? Did you get that from a sheep?
I actually got it from my girlfriend. It was a gift.
It looks nice. What is it? Did it say your brand or something on there?
No, it's a Patagonia jacket. So
Okay, I better say that thing looks fancy. Is it that cold over there still in Oregon?
yeah, I mean it's like low 50s, upper 40s. So it's a little bit chilly, a little bit nippy.
I wouldn't doubt that. It's starting to warm up finally over here in sunny Kentucky, so that's nice. But how's everything been going for you, man? I know we met up in Cancun. We got to play some beach volleyball, and you spiked on me. I got stuck in a sand hole. I'll never forgive you for that.
What?
That was so much fun, dude. Oh my gosh, man.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to many more. More.
So let's get this kicked off and let's introduce yourself, Frank. So who are you and where are you from? What organization are you in? Stuff like that. Let's hear a little bit about you.
Sure. Frank Capistrano out of Portland, Oregon, direct to my oldest brother and best friend, Christian Capistrano. I've been in the industry for about a year and maybe 6-7 months now. So fairly new. I have written about a little bit under 24K since we've gotten back from that trip. So yeah, I mean, before I entered the industry, I was actually a student at the U of O. I got a degree in economics, and then right after I graduated, I wasn't quite sure what I was actually going to do. I studied forecasting business cycles.
So you're telling me you didn't go to school when you were 5 on career day and say I wanted to be an insurance agent when I grew up?
Oh no, no. So yeah, I mean, entering this industry, this business, this career path was absolutely new to me. Obviously my father did it, so it wasn't all too new, but it's never something that I wanted to join or make a career out of. So yeah, I'm just actually happy to be here. Since we have gotten back from that trip, I actually learned that I will be going to the LeBlanc trip in Cabo in December. So
for the Champions Cup.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
No, that was pretty cool to see you guys up there again, man. You just keep winning trips. Same over here. So we'll be going to Cabo for the Weagle trip over here. So that'll be pretty fun. I did not even know the Champions Cup was going.
Yeah. So are you going?
No, not the Champions Cup. I didn't even know that thing was a competition.
I had no idea that I was going to win that. So I'm on the same boat with you. So
no, I know a lot of those things are point based. So it is predominantly recruiting based. Like recruiting gets a lot more points. So someone can play their system right.
So it's actually funny. Given that Tony's my father, he'd look at the numbers. And a few weeks ago, actually, he was like, "Frank, I think you won it." And I was like, no way. And then about an hour later, he's checking over the numbers. "I'm sorry, bud. I don't think you won it." But at the end of the day, recruiting points had put me over. So yeah, I'm just happy to even win that trip. It will be my first one trip, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, well, congratulations, dude. That is awesome to hear, man. I was so grateful that I got the chance to like get really close with you and your dad over in Cancun. We had a blast, dude. Whether it was ice cream, explain to me the importance of those trips, Frank. Like, was that the first Symmetry trip that you've been on?
Yes, the first Symmetry provided trip.
And how cool was that to be around the top earners, top learners in the company? What did that do for you personally? Like, why was it so important to you that you got to go to that?
Boy, it is amazing. For me, not just working, but working the business, especially a family type business. It can be kind of tough, with family, working with them, all that. But going to that trip, meeting new people, bumping elbows with people, getting to know some of the leaders, getting to know you, it means a lot. It really puts perspective that it's more of a business that you can succeed in. It really depends on your mindset and your personal growth. What I learned from it is that I need to work on my personal growth to make me a better person, and keep inching forward to that line to make me better each day. So that's kind of what I took out of the trip.
Absolutely. I mean, we're sitting out there at 10, 11 o'clock at night with Ryan Miller having a conversation. I'm over here just crying my eyes out. These are the conversations that people like need to have.
That conversation
But
was huge for me.
you will never get there if you never get to these trips.
Right.
Like, yeah, sure, you can go to your boot camps and miniature conferences, but only like when you're hanging around the people you see every day compared to someone who can just see your problems with a fresh perspective and just fix it right there. Like that's something that people would pay $10,000, $15,000 for in a coaching space.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, how much was that conversation worth to you, Frank?
That was huge for me. That was actually one of the very few conversations that I was like, wow. That really put a new perspective up for me. And I didn't talk too much. Ryan Miller is quite the speaker, so I learned a lot from that.
I know I definitely dominated a lot of that conversation. I'm stingy when it comes to that stuff, dude. I love learning new stuff, and I love having those breakthroughs. I mean, I think
absolutely, and that's why I value you so much, because you're real outspoken and you're eager to learn, and being coachable in this business is one of the most important things. Is being coachable.
And define coachability to you, because I think a lot of people just rehearse talking points. So I want to make sure we're giving the listeners. If you guys in the comments can type in what you think coachability is, but Frank, break it down for me. What is coachability to you?
Yeah, so coachability to me is pretty much being able to pause, reflect, and see where you're at and reach out to people and utilize what they're telling you to put it into fruition. That's coachability to me.
So adopting a different perspective, once you can understand the point that they're trying to make, because a lot of people are selfish, dude. And I mean selfish mindsets. It's all what's in it for me radio. It's people's favorite radio station. How does were you pretty coachable when you first came in here, or
no?
So
Absolutely
how does that look like to you? Because I realized very quickly people have been successful here before I came. They will be successful after I leave, which I will not. But I'm just saying, like, after I'm off this earth, insurance will still be here. So, like, what is coachability to you? How did you transition into being coachable and kind of getting that adaptability or that sponge mindset where I can take a shopping cart approach? Oh, my dad's saying to do this. I'm going to take it and put it in my appointment process. Brandon and Casey are telling me this on national calls. Let me steal this tidbit and implement it. How did you start adapting that?
Yeah, good question. So, for me, coming into this business, I was not coachable. I tried in reinventing the wheel, pretty much doing things my way, um, doing what I thought was best for the client wasn't necessarily what was always best for me as a producer as well. At the end of the day, we're trying to protect them, but we're also trying to keep our business afloat, right? Now, listening to my father was probably the toughest thing. And I kind of had to break down that wall to become successful at what I am doing right now.
Why was it so hard to just listen to your father? Just
Why was
because
it so
your dad, you
hard?
kind of grew up like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, so that's a good question, and it's that one's
Well,
honestly
you're one of the
hard
few
to.
people who are in this business with their family. Like we have the whole Jacobs clan over here in the Monteith group. Like a lot of people are starting to really dive into their warm market, and we're
Yeah,
just turning average people. Like we're pulling greatness that is out right in here. Like everyone has this in there. It's just a matter of how bad you want it or not.
right. Yeah, and I mean the Millers as well. Four brothers all doing the same thing. It's just like Ryan Miller was saying how one of his brothers wanted to recruit from the
Yeah,
get go, and one of them
Carl.
wanted to.
Carl started building immediately. Ben just wanted to put some money in his pocket for the first year and go spend time with his family.
Right.
But I mean, then that's but these things are cycles. And
Hmm.
it's literally no different than like investing or parenting. Like you get an earlier start, you're going to be ahead.
Right.
It's the power of compounding interest. It's when addition turns into multiplication. And
Yeah, and that's the great thing about this business is that there's already a system in place. You just kind of have to follow the guidelines and the rules to make sure that you get to where you want to be. Right.
exactly. And where do you see most people fail with that? Why do they try to recreate the wheel instead of just slapping four on the Symmetry car and hitting the gas pedal going?
Sure. Um, People just try to perfect the business. Like for me, I was trying to reinvent the wheel by perfecting my whatever I present, by making sure that they have the lowest premiums. And not all the time lowest premiums means greatest value of coverage, right? So for me, um,
Well, just while you're doing that, and let's break it down why having the cheapest stuff might not always be the best because I can literally go Google life insurance, 24-year-old male, non-smoker. I can come across some BS that's like $10 million policy for $15 a month. If I die, do you think they're going to pay out that claim if it's a D-rated company?
no,
No.
absolutely not.
So I don't ever care about price. I make sure it's affordable in their budget. That's why I do a needs analysis. But if it's $100, it's $100 to do this. It's what's it going to do for you? That's what people
Right.
buy. They buy improvement. They're not buying a price or a product.
And not
So
just that, I feel like with price competitive insurance carriers, they are very nitpicky with underwriting, and it can take weeks to issue their coverage. And a lot of people are actually looking into this coverage because they want it now. They want to be covered right after the conversation.
it's a short attention span. That's why I like my SBLI stuff or John Hand. Like
Right.
get it done, get
Right.
it done, get it done.
SBOI is a godsend.
Well, I know they just brought in our new F&G like instant issue stuff, and I know they like we've got a lot of stuff coming that's
Oh,
gonna
I'm
like
excited.
disrupt the industry. And what's so cool is that all these other competitors are going to want to start using our stuff, and then we'll be able to leverage that for scaling our teams even bigger.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so that's the
Big
cool
things
part is
coming.
that once we have, it's going to kind of be a monopoly in all honesty, because we'll have the best products, the best underwrite. Like it's a huge umbrella with everything underneath it, and people don't like getting rained on. Why spend $10,000 a month on leads to write $14,000 of production? You've got a $2,000, $3,000 profit when you can come here, spend 2 to 3 grand a month in leads. They're not being sold to multiple different agents. and you're getting a good 4 to 5 times investment or ROI for the average agent. If you know how to work your leads properly, you can start turning that into a 10x.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where else you can go and do that. Do you?
No, no. And that's what I love about Symmetry Financial Group is the leads. You can get A leads, you can get calling leads, but not
What
just
kind of
that.
leads do you what does Frank Capistrano buy on a weekly basis as far as lead flow?
So it's actually going to vary from here on out. I've actually started buying a lot of bonus leads. The ROI is crazy on that, and I've actually just put them into a campaign, dripped on them, and see who needs my help, right? So yeah, I'm actually it was 20 A leads, or it sometimes it would be replaced with call-in leads to supplement it, but
Those call-in leads are awesome.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, they're half price and they're still brand new.
Right.
So I love those. Those are my favorite personally. But so from now on, what is you kind of because you're a very high caliber producer. Like you write a lot of premium compared to most people. So I'm sure people are gonna want to imitate you. What kind of leads are you running consistently now on a weekly basis? Like how many
Yeah.
bonus
So
leads are you taking and how many A leads?
I typically take 20 A leads. Not all A leads will be there. So typically I'll get maybe around 10 A leads and then 20 call-in leads.
Okay.
But I'm actually looking to up the bonus leads that I take and then lower down the amount of A leads that I take a
So
little bit.
maybe like 10 just direct mail A leads or like 20
10,
call-ins
12.
and then
I'll probably lower it down to 15 just to make me, just weed off of it for a little bit, just see how it is,
15
lower
A
it down a
leads.
little bit.
And then how many bonus leads are you going to be buying?
Probably around 50 to 60.
50 to 60? Okay, so pretty much one for every, or like 3 or 4 for every A lead you're getting. That way your close ratio and your PPL is staying pretty good because that stuff won't count against you. So
Right.
that's smart. And what do you consistently write on a monthly basis? Because I've seen some killer months from you, dude. It's impressive.
Yeah. I would say that my average is around 35,000. But there can be a lot of distractions out there, trips, girlfriend,
Yeah, see, like
family.
that week in Cancun, you don't just take 1 week off, you actually take 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Leading up to trips is actually my one of my kryptonites with producing is
Mm.
it's so hard to get into the mindset that, hey, I need to just kill this week when you're receiving objection after objection, trying to set an appointment. Oh, let's just push it off to next week. Oh, well,
Do you know
next
the
week.
best way to deal with objections?
How is that?
To not get them. So
It's easier said
what
than done,
objections
but
tell me
yeah, I agree with that.
is there's just a lack of trust or rapport. Because I'll tell you, my role and purpose is pretty bulletproof. Like I don't get the I need to think about it. It's like, what is your persistency rate, Frank? Like if you're on average doing 35,000 a month, how much of that is actually getting issued placed?
If I'm doing about 35,000, probably about 20 to 25,000 is going to be net placed.
Okay, so probably what is that, like a 75%
Yeah, somewhere around there.
rate? Okay. And then what could you do to bring that up?
Good question. Probably monitor what I'm writing, to be honest.
Oh, so
Um,
are you like getting declines or people canceling their like where do you think that $10,000 to $15,000 that are not getting placed going?
yeah, so I write multiple applications per client typically.
Well, yeah, that's how you get
The
sticky in the home. Yeah.
Yeah, the part of it will come from accidental death applications. So people will cancel that from time to time. But in regards to the other half or 30% probably came from insurance carriers having specific underwriting requirements.
So it's not that it's not getting issued right then and there. It's just dragging
it's
over until
dragging
next month.
on, and that's
Okay.
why I'm in the process of not utilizing an insurance carrier as much.
Okay, so what that looked misconstrued in. So your persistency rate's not really, because we're going to go off a 90-day rolling average here. So how much would you say you place out of your business that you do right, regardless of how long it takes? I'd say you're probably around like a 85% persistency rate or something, maybe. Like, is it close?
Probably. Without the numbers, it's hard to tell, but probably, yeah.
That's profitable though. Because I mean, the average insurance agent, I think it's 68.5% is what the average insurance agent gets actually put all the way through. The family's protected. You got paid for helping them get paid. God forbid the breadwinner dies or whoever the case is. Right. But that's profitable, dude. Like, that's a profitable business model. How are you keeping your persistency rate so high? Like, what are you doing in homes to make sure they're making decisions? And how are you kind of qualifying those people? Because I think for one, most people just don't get in front of enough people. So they only book 10 appointments, 5 show up. They sit with all 5 of those, and they can only get 2 people to make a decision. That's not doing enough. Yeah. So for one, how many appointments are you running a week or booking?
Yeah. So the goal is 15 to 20 to 25 appointments each week.
And is that in-home or virtual?
It's both.
So a 50-50 split. Okay. And how many appointments are you actually running a week out of that 15 to 20 that you book?
Probably about 12 to 15, realistically.
Okay. So probably about an 85% show rate, 90% show rate, which is impressive. And how are you locking it down on the phone? Like, how are you getting that high of a show rate to appointments?
Yeah. So I have them write down my name. I have them write down what the consultation's for, mortgage protection.
Mortgage protection, yep.
I also have them write down the date and time. And I have them put that on their calendar, whether that's in their phone or whether that's on their fridge, just to make sure that they know that I'm coming there at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, or that we have a Zoom appointment at 5 p.m. on Friday.
So would you say engagement is crucial? Like, if you captivate their attention span, it's going to lead to a lot higher show rate?
Absolutely.
And you do that by getting them to follow directions. Like, here's your homework. I want you to go ahead and put this in your calendar. That's smart.
So not just that. I mean, typically you'll only have one of the spouses on the phone, right? So a lot of the time it's, I think we'll be available at this time, but I have to talk to my partner about it. Well, all right, I'll shoot you a text right now. At your earliest convenience, I want you to talk to your partner about it and then let me know. If I don't hear from them at the time that they think that they're going to talk to their partner, then I shoot them a text and I give them a call. Because I'd rather know sooner rather than later that they're not going to be able to make that appointment.
Yeah, we want to book solid appointments. Like, a lot of people get lazy when it comes to dialing. I'll book the appointment next. And they end up wondering why no one's showing up. Like, you can't just watch a 10-second insurance video on how to book appointments. And I saw you provided your favorite color was green on this lead. I'll be out there at 2 a.m. tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't work like that majority of the time.
No, a lot of this is done on the back end. And that's what takes an average agent into a good agent, into a great agent. Like, a lot of this is done on the back end, and that's how you lead to referrals. Like, I don't have to help someone apply for Social Security benefits if I'm doing their Medicare stuff, but I do it because I care about them. I want to do everything I can to help them in that moment right there. And that's what leads to, look, this young cat came over. He helped me do this. It wasn't even his job. Like, you guys got to book an appointment with this guy.
Right.
I wrote $2 $30,000 months, January and February, off referrals, $28,000 a week off IULs.
Referrals are where the big APV comes from.
Correct. Like, and most people, like, my goal is to not have to pay for leads. That's why I spend so much time building up relationships with these people. And now I get so many referrals. I'm not even have to take in as many leads. I have time to do other stuff. So I can go out there and do a 20, 30K week off referrals now.
There you go.
But now I'm also pursuing other business ventures. Like I just started up my coaching and consulting company. I've already booked 2 appointments for that. And these are $4,500 ticket items.
There you go.
$9,000. And that's stupid, dude. Like that's ridiculous. But like,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Let's get into that mentality you were talking about. Where do you find most of your mentality issues were coming from? Because like me, I'm not trying to brag on myself, but like I have to make this work. Like there's just no other option.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's very limiting beliefs. Like, oh, I'm not confident, and like a lot of that comes from a lack of sports or parenting. Because I mean, I think parenting is just leadership. Yeah. People think it's a game. It's not a game. If you treat it like a game, you'll always lose. It's a lifestyle. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. But I mean, where are some of your problems as far as mentality wise that's stopping you from maybe doing $45,000 months or building a bigger business?
Yeah. Well, initially for me, it was investing.
Investing in what?
Investing in leads, investing in recruiting, just investing overall. I saw you post a quote the other day, and it was doing something costs something, doing nothing costs something, and quite often doing nothing costs a lot more, right? And that was huge. That's a huge quote. Just like anything else, this is a business, and you have to invest. Restaurant owners have to invest. They have overhead costs. A lot of this is tax write-offs, so it honestly just goes back into your pocket. But for me, buying leads wasn't investing to me. I thought that was kind of throwing out money, but it's investing. You're not buying, you're investing. You're investing for yourself so that you can close that business, help families get protected, and move on to the next one and be profitable, right?
Correct. Well, the goal of business is to be profitable, of course. You can't do that without like that is your inventory. Like, and what most people can't think, like our core value, what is it, number 7, we act like owners because we own it. People have to understand the owner's mentality. Like, who's driving the bus up here? Me. But most people are just on autopilot their whole life. I mean, the most high-paying job in the world is thinking. Most people just don't think because it's uncomfortable. I mean, this is a survival mindset, your parasympathetic nervous system. It's primed to keep you alive. We do what's convenient, not hard. If you do what's hard now, you'll have an easy life. If you do what's easy, you'll have a hard life. So, I mean, most people just cannot process how to get into a business owner mentality. Like, these are not leads. These are a plead for help. So I'm going to take these families and help them. But a business owner, like, this is my income. This is my profit and revenue to keep building up the company's validation. Like, what are you valuated at? Like, I like to think about that stuff. How profitable are we from an income standpoint? So I know that if I invest $2,000 into my materials and stuff like that, which is my leads, it's no different than a bakery. What do you have to bake cakes, Frank?
Ingredients.
What are your ingredients here?
Yeah.
Leads.
Yeah.
I mean,
what are you going to do? Gas to drive your Ferrari.
Yeah. I mean, there's two gas pedals here. One is the slow one. The other one is the fast one. Which one do you want to go through? Would you rather go door knock and bother all your friends and family that, let's be honest, most of them don't care about insurance. And until you're good enough to present it to them, why not talk to people who want it? So smash the other gas pedal, like buy your leads. You can literally buy your production. There are metrics for this stuff. I know that me personally, if I spend $3,000 a month in leads, I can turn that into $25,000 of premium. That's profitable. So, I mean, how did you start overcoming that mindset into really understanding, like, this is my business? This is not a team here. I don't have downlines and agents. No, I have a company. Like, I'm not building up an insurance agency. I'm building up a multi-million-dollar company. So how did you start transitioning into that business owner mentality, Frank?
Yeah. So for me, I keep resulting to when I first entered, right? So when I first entered, I wasn't doing all too well. And for me to overcome that was for me to fail, for
Mm.
me to keep making mistakes. And it took some time. I had to pause, reflect, and kind of figure out what I was doing wrong. And a lot of it was not listening to my father, my upline, my brother, and to invest more into leads so that I can have more sits, so I can have more pitches. And from there, it kind of just went skyrocketing. There's
So
a huge learning curve. It's not a linear success curve. It's more exponential.
I love how simple your dad breaks it down. So for those who do not know the last name, this is the Godfather's son of Symmetry. So I love how simple you guys break down. It's a numbers game. I can't say it in your dad's voice, but it's a numbers game. Can you explain that to me? Because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get too emotionally attached to this, and that's such a huge
Yeah.
disconnect for people. They get discouraged and then they quit. So if you could
Yeah.
simplify this, a numbers game, how would you present that?
Yeah. Numbers game, meaning law of large numbers. The more numbers you go through, the more low hanging fruit that you're going to find.
And by low hanging fruit, what do you mean? The people who want to buy insurance?
People who want to buy insurance, the people that you don't even have to utter a power question to, the people that you don't have to try and persuade that this is important for them to put in
Yeah,
place.
you got 10% who will not buy from anybody, and you got 10% who will buy from a dog. So
Right.
it's the 80% that needs coaxing and or coaxing to make a decision. So, I mean, it's how fast you can play the numbers, right? And how simple we can break this down. Frank, you remember those rubber duckies your parents used to put in your bathtub when you were a kid?
Absolutely.
So if I put 50 rubber duckies in your bathtub today and I strap $1,000 to 3 of them and you have 20 seconds to go through them, what are you going to be doing?
Oh, I'm making waves in that bathtub.
You're going to be sending it through it. It's activity. It's a numbers game. You have to get through them, the no's, to find the yeses.
Absolutely.
I think too many people get caught up in the fear of rejection. Well, how I found that I overcome that was having a lot of appointments, because now I have posture. If I have 20 appointments and 18 show up, you tell me no, cool, slide on over, baby. I got the next one. And it builds a confidence. And now you're busy. Like, look, we have 45 minutes to get this knocked out. Here you go. So, and I love how analytical, like, it's just a very straightforward approach with you guys. How do you present options?
How do I present options? Good question. So typically I go through my spiel, and then, I ask them more questions just to make sure that whatever I have for them, whatever I have ready
Yeah,
for
so
them.
let's do this for the person watching. So Symmetry system, we're gonna see what Frank, how he utilizes his system. If you like it, leave a like put some in the comments about what you would change or what you like about it. But go through just a streamlined process. Give me a role and purpose. Maybe give me a question that you use for a power question, and then go into the options.
Sure. So I like to start off by asking for their permission to have full and open disclosure. In the process of getting mortgage, life insurance protection, there's no blood work, no lab work, no doctors or nurses visiting them. As a field underwriter, I'm contracted with 32 of the top A-graded insurance carriers. So what I would like to do today is ask them several questions, come up with several options that they qualify for. It's based off their health, age, and gender. We'll also go through a financial fire drill, and then I will come up with several options that they qualify for. And if they make sense to them and their budget, I'll go ahead and try to get them underwritten through. And then I ask
like
them,
that. I'll
does
try
that
to
make
get you
sense?
guys underwritten today.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Does that sound good? Yep. And then if they say
So
yep,
you're getting a verbal commitment that business is taking place today.
yep.
How I like to say it is like, I am putting, like, my goal today is to make sure we get some protection put in place for your family. Does that sound good? That's how you get those micro commitments, those buying statements. And that's the problem. Most people don't ask for the business enough. So what comes next after your role and purpose? You said a financial fire drill?
Yeah. So actually, typically I just verify that everything that I have on my qualification form is all correct. Then I do their financial fire drill just to make sure that what I'm presenting to them, they can afford. Because it makes no sense if I can draft up 3 options that they can't afford, that it's 100% out of their ballpark, right?
Correct.
So after the financial fire drill, I'll go over the options with them. Typically, I only have 3 options per person. And then I'll present it to them, make sure that they know everything that's, provided within the
I want to see if you know what I'm going to get at. I want you to explain the importance of shutting up. Like after you present options, like let's just say we have a $100,000 mortgage. This guy's 20 years old. You're looking at an SBLI. What would you do for 3 options? Like show me how you would present that real quick.
Yeah. So 100,000, 20 years old.
Let's just say a $500,000 mortgage. For some reason, these kids go to the coal mines and get these huge houses that they end up not being able to afford after they get laid off.
Sure.
But, so you get a $500,000 mortgage. We're not using National Life Group. So show me what 3 options would look like on something like that.
Yeah. So typically, I'll at least provide them with the full payoff for number 1. Number 2 will be something that's probably 25% lower than that face value. So maybe about 425, and then 325. And then I'll ask them, so if you were to pass away tomorrow, who would have the financial responsibility of taking care of this home?
My wife.
Your wife. Okay. Now, if your wife is to be, living in this home, how long would she live in this home for without this coverage?
She'd probably be able to stay here for a couple months before she had to get a second job or get rid of the house.
Okay. How long will it take for her to get that second job? Does she have a second job lined up for her?
No.
No? Okay. So would it make sense to put in some coverage today?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, out of these 3 options, 500,000, 425, and 325, which one fits your budget?
Probably the 425.
Okay, perfect. May I see your ID?
This is what I'm talking about right here, though. Like, people do not know when to shut up. Like, most people would start vomiting out of a fire hose from their mouth about, well, the 500,000. Like, first person to talk loses. That is the importance of that. Did you ever make that mistake when you first came in? You would start spewing out, like regurgitate, like vomiting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell them everything that I know about
underwriting. Did they make a decision after that?
No.
No, because they felt like you were taking charge of it. So, Frank, one thing I might recommend for you personally, it might help you close more business, or I don't know. What I actually do for something like that is a full payoff, and I try to steer them away from it. I try to do a takeaway with that one because that's what pays us the best anyways, but most people choose the middle option. So I'll do a full payoff, a half payoff with accidental, and then an equity protection option.
Okay. Yeah.
So like here's how something like that would go for me. So $500,000 house. So Frank, we have a $500,000 mortgage. Do you plan on being alive in the next 30 years?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think you're going to owe on that house in 10 or 15 years when you're still alive then?
Probably about half that.
So you wouldn't really need 500,000 at that point then, would you?
Probably not.
So let's not overpay for insurance right now. I'm not going to assume that you don't want the best money can buy for your family, but I would like most people would not do that option. So I'm just going to mark that out. If you want it, let me know. But what most people in your shoes would do is it's middle. It's a half payoff and half accidental because do you have cancer or anything like that?
No.
So, I mean, do you see yourself dying tomorrow from a stroke? What would probably take you out?
That's a good question.
Car wreck, something like that. It'd probably be a freak accident, right?
Probably.
Yeah, you're not going to pass away from a heart attack tomorrow. So let's look at 250,000 and 250,000 on accidental to keep the cost down low. And this last option is just what I call a mortgage payment plan. So Frank, God forbid you didn't come home last week, you passed away, you died. This is going to give your wife 2 years of making sure the mortgage payments get made. That way she has time to process your death and grieve properly. She's not having to put the house on the market for sale. But if she wants to sell it, she has the option to, because the housing market might be good right now, but is it going to be good in 3 or 4 years?
Who knows?
So it might not sell very quick then, right?
That's correct.
So this is going to give her time to make sure that she's not having to come out of pocket. She can afford to stay in the house with the kids. Which one of those options, like I think my wife's in there baking cookies. I'm going to go make sure she doesn't burn them. I want you guys to pick a plan that fits your budget the best, what's going to fit your needs the best. And when I come back, that's what we're going to apply for. So choose the option that makes most sense for you guys. And when I come back, we're going to apply for that. Okay.
Sounds good. I love that.
That's it.
I love that. Yeah.
But it's just building. They feel like they're in charge. And a lot of times I tell them to mute out. They don't even mute out so I can still hear them. I'm just sitting right outside the door. I'm not married. My wife's not in there baking cookies. But I'll say my dogs have to go out to the bathroom or something. It's just put it on them. Put the responsibility on them right there to make a decision. But I like giving them 3 different types of choices because sometimes they just want mortgage payment. And that's how I can start adding other stuff because I built that rapport up. Now I can go into their retirement and give them an IUL to make up for that difference in premium that I know they can afford.
Yeah, that's
so this is how I get such a high app count like you do, but you still write a lot of accidentals.
Yeah, adding in the accidental is a guaranteed close.
Which makes more sense, a $200 policy for $500,000 or $100 for this $250,000 policy with a $10 accidental? I just saved them $90 a month that someone else is trying to close them on 200. Who do you think they're going to go with?
Yeah, you.
100%.
Yeah.
Or I'm rewriting
a lot of psychology with the numbers. I always give them something that's high, something that's around 100.
When someone's pitching mortgage protection, like, did you notice how I did not say, like, let's say your mortgage was $1,000 a month. I didn't say this is $24,000 of mortgage protection. I said this is 2 years of having the mortgage payments being made for you.
Yeah, you have to put it in perspective.
It's a concept. Yeah. I'm selling an idea. I'm selling improvement into their life because people see $24,000 on a $500,000 mortgage. That's not going to do anything. But once they hear 2 years of mortgage payments being made, that's a whole different conversation.
Absolutely.
All right. So this has actually gone on this has been fun, dude. I love talking to you, man. To close it down, let's just talk a little bit about brand new agent looking at this. I mean, or let's just say someone new on your team. What do you think their priority needs to be? Is it personal development? Is it just get on the phone and start dialing? Like, what is important to you for a new agent?
Yeah. It's absolutely 100% activity. Getting on the phone, making mistakes, cleaning up the mess later. Without activity, there's no chance of making any money in this business.
So you don't have your agents go through all the product guides and brochures and learn everything and what every rider does and
absolutely not. No, that's a sure way of them
failure. That's a sure way of walking yourself right out of this business.
Absolutely.
Not even out the back door, it's the front door.
Absolutely.
That'll be your first month in.
Yep. I've had plenty of agents say, "Oh, I want to look into debt-free life," and then I never hear back from them after.
Then you end up selling it to them. That's hilarious. They never get E&O, nothing like that. Well, dude, Frank, thank you so much for coming on here, man. You guys will have to come on one of our morning calls and instill some of your Capistrano knowledge into the family. But, dude, thank you so much for being on here. I love spending time with you in Cancun. If there's anything I can do, reach out. If someone wants to work with you, where can they reach you at?
They could reach me at my email. It's franksfglife@gmail.com.
franksfglife@gmail.com. You guys heard him. Leave your favorite part of this video in the comments. Let's get him back on here for a part 2 because I'd like to hear how you actually run your appointments, and I think other people would as well. maybe they
Definitely.
can have $30,000-$40,000 months. But we'll wrap it up with that. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
What's going on, guys? Hope you enjoyed that awesome interview I had with one of my great buddies, Frank Capistrano. So if you had listened on there, I mentioned that I started a new coaching and consulting company. Why I did this was because 92% of insurance agents actually fail in their first year. And I want you to go do your own research on that, because I think you're a part of the 8%. And if you're not, I have a solution for you. You come work with me and get some coaching. So if you're tired of being part of the 92% and seeing what you see in that, feeling what you feel in that, and hearing the things that you hear when you're a part of the 92% of failing, I want you to move over to the 8% with the people that are succeeding. And how you do that, you find someone who's already done it and you copy them word for word, body language, their tonality, whatever the case is. You just be a sponge. So if you're ready to go from the 92% and failing to the 8%, shoot me a message on any of the social media platforms I have. Just search Mason VanMeter and we'll get you coached up.